Hey folks, let's go to CSSBattle.dev and do the daily target. And we've got some interesting little shapes here. All right, what are they? I think it's nested, but I think everything's heroes on the body, and that's cool. So how do we get these shapes? And what's the right way to do this? I think the circles are the interesting part. We got to see what those circles are going to be. So radial gradient. Yeah, radial gradient. Circle. I'll just do this with the most verbose syntax to start with. Transparent in the middle, and it's, you know, this radius is small. Let's call it, we're at what, 163 or 160 or something, and then the middle is like 177. 160, so 15 pixels, and then that color 0, 30 pixels, let's say, and then transparent again. Maybe a little bigger, maybe 35, and then we move those around, right? Let's move it around and see what we get. Minus 100 pixels, minus 10, 20, minus 20, and then something like 50 pixels, or 70, 80. How about minus 22 pixels, 23, 24, nope, 19, 18, 20, 21, 21. All right, that's where it gets interesting. Now, all right, so we just need two of those. We need two of those, and so this is all gradients, but it's I don't think it's the most efficient way to do it, but that's not going to stop me. No, 21 pixels, 80 pixels, minus 80 pixels. There we go. So now that we've got that, I think that this overlaps the circle, which is kind of on the interesting side. And to me, the way to cover that is what? Well, I naturally think of conic gradient, which is, and maybe repeating, conic gradient, whoops, which is going to be what? Transparent, 0, 25%, and then this 0, 50%. And we need a comma. And that'll cover what we want. And then we have one more conic gradient. Which will be, what'll that be? That'll be, well, it'll be in the upper corner, 0, 0. And it'll have a width of 210 pixels, which means probably the height is 160 pixels, and then it's at 90%, and that color 75%, and then transparent, and you get that kind of, and then we put a background color on the final. And with a semicolon, and that's kind of correct. Not totally right. No, I know that. All right. So let's do what? Let's do this as a value: 180 pixels, 70, 80, 90. Yeah, 90, and then this is what, 140. And let's see if that gives us 100%. And that's, so, you know, 4 gradients, and that is that. So we can reduce to the extent it's a reduce, put that in a variable, So that's going to be var g. And then replace the second instance of it with var g as well. Minify, unit replace, submit. That's it. What are our other options? The other option, let's see, probably this repeating. So that's one way, and I think that's tuned to whatever extent it's tuned. Let's do the blank template, and this time we'll put that on the body. And I actually copied the wrong part. What I wanted was this kind of. This is the kind of gradient I wanted. That's the one. Clump, blank template, put that on the body, and instead of white or instead of transparent, I want the actual blue color. So that's this guy. Then I'm going to create this little paragraph tag guy. And the way to do that is height of, if I kept track of the numbers, it's 15. I think it's 15. Border radius 50%, and border solid 20 pixels. And obviously, I need to do a width of 15. Like that. Wow, sort of. And then move it with the margins. And strictly speaking, I don't ever really want to do a width. And I guess I need a color as well. All right, I need more numbers here. 0, 180. Okay, and then 60 should be more like 90. 110. Push down a little bit more. So I'm going to turn off the border radius so I can see this properly. It is harder to judge whether I've intersected the curve with the correct spacing, the correct margin top. So we'll just add a dash to the border radius, and then it looks like a variable. Okay, so the top 30, 40, 35, 20, 30, 32, 36, 37, and then that height needs to be 20, 30. Yeah, there we go. And then let's put the border radius back on. That is close. That's close. Not right, but it is close. This number is probably wrong. So the width of 30. And if I do these margins as, let's do a 0 here instead, just because we're a little lazy. 70, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there is where it's peeking out. You see that? So let's adjust this width and then add to here, because I don't really want to do, like I said, I don't want to do the width. 3, 4, 1, 2, nope, that's worse. 30, 1, 32, 33, 4, 35, 36. All right, now there is that edge that's poking out, and that's no good. But what are you gonna do? Let's do a second one. P plus P. Well, we're gonna. I guess we got to address that little bit, don't we? How about a clip path? Why not? Polygon. 5% 0, 100%, 100%, 100%. Oh no, 100% 0, actually 0. 100%, 100%. There's your triangle. And then 5%, 100%. How about 6? 7. 7%. Sure. Well, then the second one, the scale is going to be -1. And then the margins are going to be a little different. So I want to push these. I think these two colors get flopped. Or these two margin values. That's flopped there. That's there. And then we push it down a little bit more, probably by 20, 30. Oh, that doesn't work. Right, that doesn't work. 4, 5, 7, 8, 90. And let's see if that does it. Submit. This is another approach. So we do the grid on the body and then create paragraph element, 2 of them. Minify, replace, submit. And that's a clip path to shave off that extra part. There's probably other ways to do it. In fact, I'm 100% sure there are other ways to do it. And not as good a score. That's it. That's good. That's fun. Hope you're having a good day out there. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and go make a webpage.